Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. All right. Gonna give it a minute or so to get everyone in this very impromptu live stream this morning. Just wanted to talk about a couple of things. Hello, Isis, Auntie Sugar, Kev, Brittany. That's right, Kevin. Happy Mars Day. That's right. Take a sip of water. Yes. Everyone come in. Like the video. Come in. Streaming to you all from, I guess it's sunny outside. Sunny Los Angeles, California. I'm in LA with Mr. Hoodoo for work. He's at work. I'm relaxing in the hotel bedroom. But yeah, come on in, everyone. Come on in. I just wanted to talk about a couple things. So, very, very impromptu. Because I feel like it is my duty as a spiritual worker to just discuss a couple of things, right? So, yeah. So, let me get on to it because I'm not going to be here long. Yeah. So, there's this notion that goes around in the spiritual community. And I know that, I don't have any channels on TikTok. I mean, I did have a TikTok, but I didn't really do anything over there. I don't do Pinterest. Do I have a Twitter? Yeah, I mainly keep my Twitter account so I can be nosy and see what's going on in the other parts of Twitter. I have a Facebook account. I really don't deal with that too much. I have a business Facebook account as well as my personal one. But I say all that to say I know we're in the information age. I know that a lot of people are very visual. And I know that a lot of people who really want to learn, who seek to learn as it pertains to spiritual work, especially those who are younger or whatnot, you go to where there are quote unquote free, free knowledge bases, right? One of those being the very, very popular TikTok, right? So I want to say maybe about 5 years ago, spiritual workers who really know what they're doing, we'll call them Instagram witches, right? Because Instagram witches, Pinterest witches, right? Because it was Pinterest, it was Instagram, right? Now we have the TikTok witches, and all of that is fine and dandy. But I will say that there's this thing floating around that's saying it's about intent, and that's not always the case, right? Spiritual work is an art and a science. The art form part, that's where your creativity comes in. Your wording choice, how you write your petitions, how if you're creating your own rituals, if you're creating your own spell work, that's the artistic part of it. But as far as spirituality being a spiritual science, yeah, there are certain things that have to happen that have to be done if you want a certain outcome. Hey, Nyla. Yeah, there's a certain thing, that has to be done. For example, so I was talking to someone. Actually, I was talking to two people. I was talking to Donna. Everyone knows Donna, and if you were there for my Friday the 13th live stream, you probably know the conversation. was talking to Donna. She was asking about some work that she was doing, and the work started out great, but then it didn't end on a good note. Why was that? Because she added something in there. She added an ingredient to the work that didn't need to be there, right? So this whole, when you're doing your works, you have to stay recipe, quote unquote, specific, okay? Especially if you do not know how to substitute one item for something else. And in some cases, there are no substitutes, right? For example, if you want to make chicken noodle soup, you have to have chicken, you have to have noodles of some kind because your intent is chicken noodle soup. One does not make chicken noodle soup with beef. That doesn't happen. You've made soup. You've made a noodle soup. But if you use beef instead of chicken, that is no longer chicken soup. That's now beef soup. And this whole, well, I wanted to use this, well, I wanted to use that, and well, I thought that, okay, that's fine, and all like that, but did you work? No. Same thing with doing love works. I see people doing, when it comes to sweet works or whatever, they're not remembering science and how science interacts with things on a cellular level, and the way that science works will affect your spiritual work, right? There are some people out here making sweet jars and honey jars and putting water in it. What happens? You're going to get something that's fermented and it's going to be sour like beer, and now you can just kill your love work. Oh, I want to do a love work and I thought I can do this. Well, would you make a love work with some shit? Would you take a pile of shit and put it in your love work? No, you would not. Because the correspondences have to be aligned. Things have to be aligned. When you hear talk about, the stars aligned, everything has to be right. The creative portion is one thing, but the science, the spiritual science part of things have to be right. So I tell people all the time, spiritual work is just as much science and logic as it is spiritual work. Okay. Someone was asking me about a freezer spell. Freezer spells work great. You have to understand the logic behind the freezer spells, as well as what cold and freezing things does to molecules on a molecular level and why things work. Right? You do not do a freezer work when you're trying to bring two people together. When you freeze something, what happens to the molecules? The relationship between things, it slows things down. So I say all of this to say, you can do whatever you want. It doesn't mean that you're doing the correct work. It doesn't mean that your magic is going to work. Okay. And everything doesn't work for every person either. Everything doesn't work for every person. One person's spell is not necessarily going to work for another person. You don't know what they put into it. You don't know how their spirits or ancestors, help their work out. You may not get the same effect. And that is okay. That is okay. Auntie Sugar says, I love October. I love warm weather. And as long as it's warm, I'm fine with October. Another thing that I come to see is that a lot of people want sexy spiritual work. Sexy spiritual work. They want, quote unquote, the fun things. They don't necessarily want what's right, what's necessary, what's needed, because spiritual work isn't always just for getting something. There is personal and self development that can be had within spiritual work as well. Hey, Journey with Karen. And a lot of people don't like that, right? Because they just want to do the things. And I completely get it. Doing the things are important, especially if there are things going on in your life. But, the personal growth is important. The personal growth, like when you hear about, the purpose of certain things, getting more spiritual. Being more spiritual doesn't necessarily mean doing more magic either. Sometimes it really is just about communing with spirit, slowing down and seeing who you are, where you fit, what is your place in the cosmos, and how that's important to the cosmos and to other people around you, right? Because you can work with various paths in spirituality, to develop yourself, help develop your character, help you to deepen your practice, your knowledge of who you are, and how you connect with spirit. But that's not the sexy stuff. And I was talking to someone last week, and we were talking about that. Every time you see something that's Hollywood made or a TV show or something, and they're doing magic or whatever, it's not for self growth. It is not for personal development. It is always to do a thing or to solve a problem, which again is okay. But when we hear that famous magician say, to know thyself, that is important too. Because if you don't know yourself, you haven't grown spiritually, you don't know who you are, then you don't know what you want, and then you don't know how you're going to move through life. Okay? You don't know how you're going to move through life. So, these things are important. These things are important, the self-growth, the self-development are just as important as, you know, doing the things that we need to get done to live life, like money, food, shelter, things like that. Spiritual growth and self development are important as it pertains, to using magic as well. Because you grow a lot. If you are someone that does a lot of work for other people, you end up learning a lot about yourself. It's the same like, when people say like you really need to live alone to know yourself, know what you like, know what you want. The same can be said of the spiritual realm and working with magic. When you do a lot of work, you learn about who you are, it really does affect who you are as a spiritual worker, as a magician. It really helps you to get to know who you are. And that is just as important as doing any type of magic. And that's just as important. And a lot of people don't like to hear that again because it's not sexy. It's not, oh, we're doing things, because a lot of times people come to me, as it pertains to spiritual work and wanting me to do spiritual work. It's usually three things: money, which I get, because hey, I like money too. We need money. It's just the world that we live in. It's money, it's revenge or curse work, or it's love work. It's always one of those three things starting out when someone comes to me as it pertains, to spiritual work. It's not help me grow into a better person. It's not help me get in touch with divinity. It's not help me learn how I can be a better reader, diviner. It's none of those things. It's not help me develop my characteristics, help me learn about, who I am or my path. It's none of those things. People always come to me for one of the big three: cursing, love, and money. Okay. Hey, Fuzzy. Hey, Clarence. So I hope this makes sense, right? Because again, people just see the spiritual work as doing something outward and not focusing on the inward, right? Not focusing on the unseen parts, which are just as important. And again, it's not popular. It's not, because if you tell someone to go sit and meditate and journal and reflect, you know, part of the shadow working, part of getting to know yourself, they won't do it. And that is just important as doing all of the other active stuff. And a lot of people don't want to hear it. A lot of people don't want to hear it because they don't want to do it. And a lot of people are just looking to spiritual work for power, right? For power and control. And I get it. You're supposed to be the master of your life. I talk about it all the time. I curate my own life. But you have to also focus on yourself, your soul growth, your purpose, and things like that too. You have to, those are just as important because it's about the harmony, right? When we're looking at quote unquote the yin and the yang, we have that balance, we have that harmony there, right? The inward, the self reflecting, the soul growth, your growth as a person, your growth spiritually, understanding your place in the cosmos, all of that is just as important as the outward magical manifestations. It's just as important. Fuzzy says, "Oh, you pulling my card today." Yeah, I just, I feel like it has to be said. And I'm not a spiritual worker that's just out here like, oh, y'all know I don't hit y'all with come buy this for me, come schedule with me, do this. I don't do that to you all. I'm not here to hustle you all. I'm not here to try to take money from you all. I am here to explain things, be truthful and honest about things, especially as it pertains to things that I've experienced, things that I've done, the ways that I've grown, right? I'm not out here trying to tell you to buy this or, book this with me and then you going to be such and such. I give all of y'all the space and the free will to decide if y'all want to invite me into your personal life as it pertains to readings and sessions and things like that. And I am truly thankful for my clients who trust me to be involved with things that are happening in their lives. I truly appreciate y'all. But y'all know I'm not out here trying to be anybody guru or anything like that. But I am going to tell you the truth about things. I am going to tell you the truth. Because I want you to grow and be better and do better for yourselves. Okay. Yeah, Fuzzy Spiral says, I haven't wanted to do the work internally. Yeah, we have to do the work internally as well. We have to do the work internally as well because it's just as important. When you get comfortable with who you are, when you get comfortable with, where you come from, when you know and understand what you want in your life, when you're growing as a person, you're doing all of these beautiful, wonderful things, you understand quote unquote things that trigger you, why things that trigger you, and you're using spirituality and working with that to kind of heal things if things need to be healed, if things need to be worked on. That is a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing, right? It's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. Yeah, Journey with Karen says, I 100% agree. You helped me realize that in addition to the physical things I want and need, I need to work on my inside, how I treated myself and others. That work is equally, if not more important. Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, I feel that, and this is my personal opinion, a good spiritual worker will tell you that, will help you work on those things, will tell you these things, like I said, because they are important, because who you are as a person is important. And if you aren't evolved, if you haven't evolved as a person, if your soul hasn't evolved, right, it's going to, because if you don't know who you are, you don't know what you want, you haven't evolved, you haven't really taken a good look at yourself, it's going to affect your work. It will affect your work. And we see this manifest in so many different ways. If you look around, quote unquote, the internet, right? And we see so many people who are hurt, who are trauma bonding, who are having issues with themselves, they don't have this, or we talk a lot about, or we see, via Nyland has his channels, we see certain issues pop up within other people, and these people are unhealed. These people need to grow themselves, because a lot of what we're seeing is people acting up because they haven't grown, they haven't developed, right? They're still holding on to things. Imagine, the worst incel that out here doing magic. That's a recipe for trouble. That is a recipe for trouble. That is a recipe. That is a person that's going to continue to harm and hurt other people because they have issues. Because they have issues. Hey, Wu said it. And that is, you have to do the inner work as well. You have to know who you are as a person. You really have to do that. And you can use, you know, the realm of spiritual work and magic to help you evolve and grow as a person. Right? Because those things are important. Yes, a lot going on in the YouTube streets, but a lot of things that are happening in the YouTube streets, a lot of it is personal issues and people not working on themselves and just out here just spreading everything around, like turning on a fire hose. Hey, Raw Talk Culture. Yeah, a lot of that is that. So when you're looking at things, and then they move from being they haven't worked on themselves. Because they haven't worked on themselves, they have moved to the realm of presenting illusion, right? So a lot of what we're seeing out here on YouTube, and the conversation is transitioning, is the spirit of illusion, the energy of illusion, and chaotic energy, because a lot of people haven't self-reflected. They haven't worked on themselves. Because if they work on themselves, and a lot of their, I'm not going to say every last one of their problems, but you'll be in a better place to work on yourself, work on your problems, and then alleviate some of the issues, some of the pain points in your life. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's the truth, right? They don't want to hear that, even though it's the truth, right? And I was thinking about that today because, like I said, I'm in LA right now, once again with Mr. Hoodoo for work. I'm in LA, and it's so funny because I see a lot. I wanted to come to LA with Mr. Hoodoo because I've never been to LA, right? I've never been to LA, but my energy is also like, I'm kind of protective of myself here in LA because I understand the spirit of illusion is out here in LA. When we're talking about certain places, certain industries, the spirit of illusion is out here. Um, And I can see how all of that, translates, because when we're looking at YouTube, right, and comparing to LA, this is a film media. This is a visual media, just like the main industry out here in LA, right? This is a visual media, and a lot of times people are out here lying and presenting false sense of self. It's the spirit of illusion, right? It's a microcosm, right? It's a microcosm of that. And, if you're sensitive to energy and energetics, then you will pick up on things as soon as you arrive in a place. And a lot of this here is the energy of illusion, the spirit of illusion, presenting one thing when something is really something else, right? And what's being presented draws a lot of people in, right? Yeah, girl, that's spur strong out here. It is out here. Because if you are, like I said, if you're an energy worker, if you work with energy, then you can feel it. Like, a lot of people talk about the energy of New Orleans. I don't feel the energy of New Orleans. I feel, when I go to New Orleans, I feel the energy of, there's the energy of despair in New Orleans, but on top of that is the illusion energy of party fun time, right? That's what I feel in New Orleans. Now, when I go to Savannah, Savannah, Georgia, the old spiritual realm, that place is a spiritual nexus right there. A lot of people talk about New Orleans. Nah, baby, it's Savannah. Savannah is a huge spiritual nexus. And I feel very calm and at peace there because I'm connected to that. But New Orleans has yeah, as and no one wants to say it, as dirty as New Orleans is, it's funny how some people find that sexy. Like the dirtiness, the grime, it's the energy there is very weird. The spirit of illusion is all up and through New Orleans too. Savannah is different. And then, like I said, I'm here in LA. We're here until I think Friday. Um, yeah, LA is very, yeah, it's very facade here, you know. But again, tying that back into the previous conversation, a lot of what we're seeing, the microcosm on YouTube, a lot of stuff going on YouTube, and we see it with these influencers and stuff like that all the time. A lot of it is they're working with the spirit of illusion, right? Because whatever they're lacking in their personal lives, they don't have to deal with it if they're working with the spirit of illusion. Have I ever been to Charleston? No, I have not been to Charleston, but I heard Charleston has the spirit too. But yeah, Savannah. I went to Savannah when we went to Savannah and we were walking down, what was it, like River Street? And just like the cobblestone, and Savannah has a very old world, otherworldly. Savannah is so much of a nexus. Like, it's one of those, the spiritual current is right there. It's not even underneath. It's like right there. The spiritual current in Savannah is right there. Savannah is very powerful. New Orleans is just, and I love me some New Orleans food. Okay, because we went to some restaurant, and them little seafood crab claws were amazing. But the spirit of New Orleans is very, it's something there. It's dirty, and there's some dirty underlying spiritual current in New Orleans, and it's something. I don't know if that's like that's some illusion energy too that keeps drawing people there, because I don't see the pull. Like at least like with LA, like people come out here to try and get into that particular industry that could potentially make them money, but I don't see any draw to that. I don't know who did it, but someone did some type of spiritual work or whatever to keep drawing people to that energy. There is completely, it's like a it's like a black fog, foggy spirit there, but the illusion is something else with New Orleans. I'm not uncomfortable there, but I see right through it. But Savannah, Savannah is it. Savannah is it, baby. Savannah is it, baby. Yeah, there's some beauty here. And like we were driving, we were driving on the 5 expressway. Is that what it is? The 5? Girl, I was asleep. But we were driving on the 5 and just like the mountains and driving through the mountains and going up and down, and part of that drive through the mountains reminds me of Tennessee. But like we're out here and it's just like okay. Like I can see the illusion, the illusion magic of LA that draws people here. I can see it. It does. Hey, Curacao. Hey, Miss Anonymous. Hey, girl. Yeah, I see there. Yeah, like here in LA, like, and I can already, the energy that draws people here is, this is illusion energy here. Here in LA, this is illusion energy. I love the palm trees because I love palm trees, right? This is illusion energy. And it's so funny because we were looking at the mountains and how like the clouds just sit right at the mountains or a little bit below. And the mountains are high. The mountains didn't do anything. But I was looking at like how the mountains blanketed, I mean, how the clouds blanketed like the mountains. And it was just like, yeah, it's that whole, the spirit of illusion is out here, baby. It is out here. Yeah, it's the spirits left over from that, but it's something else too. Like there is a magical spiritual current. And to me, it's similar, like, like when people talk about going to like Stonehenge and like how it feels out there, that's how Savannah feels to me. There's a spiritual current there, right? Because there are spirits everywhere, right? There are spirits everywhere. There's a lot of things that happen in a lot of places, but Savannah just feels it's like they talk about ley lines. Savannah has like a spiritual energy that you can really, really tap into. It's almost like every tree, and I mean, every tree and living thing does have a spirit, but it's literally like you can tap into every tree, every rock, every brick in Savannah. Like you can feel it, like it's right there. It's not hiding, it's there. But New Orleans gets the attention, but Savannah doesn't, for being a spiritual nexus, right? Savannah, if you sense energy, you go to Savannah, you will feel just what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah. It's very present in Savannah. When you go to Savannah and you feel it, it's right there. It's not hiding. You can feel it. It really is, and it really seeps into you. You can feel it. You can feel it in Savannah. You can feel it. Yeah, you can absolutely feel it while you're walking. Absolutely can. You can feel it in Savannah. Like I said, just being there, like just getting closer, like you can feel it, like it's there. You can feel it. And it's funny because we got into LA last night. So, it was dark. We got to the hotel. It was probably 7:30. So, it's getting dark. It's dark. And it was funny because we were just like we couldn't really see because, it was dark outside. The sun went down. But I was thinking about it like, I wonder how much the sunlight is really going to illuminate for me the truth of what LA is, right? Because people think of it as some wonderful place. And don't get me wrong, there's magic here, but the magic here in LA is hidden, and the illusion of something else is the bigger projected energy here. Yeah, yeah. It's so funny because I'm just like, people are just like, oh, I love California. And then I got out here. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm loving California, but, and it has different regions and stuff like that. But like when you start getting into like LA and then like that's like the Seal Beach area to Long Beach, like part of this is like deserty area. I'm like, there's like we were driving down, it's nothing but like these smaller foothill mountains with this parched, they have like this little grass on it that's like parched, and it's just like, what is this illusion here? What is the what is drawing people out here to dryness, right? Because this isn't the energy of life, right? Which is why I like tropical areas so much, because when you have water and you have all of this life and it's lush and it's growing, that's the energy of life. That's the energy of bounty. But like out here, it's just like mountains and it's like desert, and it's like that energy doesn't resonate with me. Hey, tech nerd girl. So it's like this is like partially desert. Like what I'm sorry, what's the appeal here? What's the appeal here? But it's the illusion magic, right? The illusion magic that's here, that's implanted here. Because for certain things to happen with certain industries, right? You will all need you will always need a new influx of people for certain industries out here in LA. And to have the influx of people, you have to have something draw them in. And that's the illusionary magic. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, Kevin. Like, and I was hoping that someone would understand what I was saying. Like I'm not one to go camping, but I appreciate the forests, the greenery, the shrubs, the I appreciate that, right? Because if we're thinking about it like in terms of tarot, you're looking at the Empress card of the major arcana, right? That is the lush, the life, the plant life, the animal life, the bounties of, you know, because you'll probably have a better chance of surviving if you get stranded in a forest as opposed to like the desert, right? So the like I said, the energy out here, and I'm just like, okay, so what is it? I'm not understanding the draw here, but if you understand energy and how things work, this is the whole uh glamour magic and illusion magic out here. Yeah, this right here. Right, right. But where this so understand what you're saying. Like it's different because it's very different out here. Like I have never wanted to move out west because I'm looking at, I've never wanted to just be like, oh, okay, let's just go to Cal. I'm like, okay. Because a lot of it is dry. And then where a lot of the greenery is, it's further north and it gets too cold for me. So, right. It's beautiful because it gets a lot of sunlight, but the energy is, girl, you picking up on this is glamour illusion magic out here because again, with certain industries, as people pass away or whatever, you always need a new influx for people to be the new it people to, to harvest energy. You always need the new, you know, you always need a new influx of people out here for, quote unquote, the energy harvesting. Oh, I get it. Yeah, yeah, Cali is one thing, LA is something else. California is one thing, LA is something else. Because no one is just like, hey, I'm moving to Modesto. No one says that. When people are saying they're moving to California, they're moving to one of the hub places, San Francisco or Silicon Valley, LA, San Diego. No one is out here like, yeah, I'm moving to Rancho Cucamonga. Like no one is out here saying that. It's one of these hub places when we're moving to California, because California is very vast with 5 million trillion little cities. But no one is out here moving to some dust town. And there's nothing wrong with loving where you're from, but yeah. But LA's energy, this energy is, it's very interesting. And I was gonna be a not a tourist, but and then I thought about it, like, do I really want to be? Mm-mm. I don't want to be too touristy out here, because it's something about the underlying current here. I feel like, I don't know. It's very different out here. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, but yeah. Yeah, the spirit of illusion and the spirit of glamour and the spirit of chaos, they all out here working together on things, especially in certain areas. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, people are just like, "Oh, have you ever wanted to go to like Paris?" I'm like, "No." A lot of France is dirty. I mean, it just is what it is. Especially those places, like the years and years of dirt and stink. And Paris is one of those places too that has a glamour illusion energy, right? It's That's one of those places too. Like, people go there all the time, and then they're just like let down, like, because they're thinking it's romanticized, right? You have that same romanticism here, that same romanticized energy of sexy New Orleans. Yeah, we finna witch and voodoo it up real quick while we here. Mm-mm. Yeah, it's fake, right? She said the people are fake, right? Glamour, illusion, energy. You had a ball in Paris. I'm sure you did, girl. But the way just certain things is, like, there are certain places I've just never been attracted to. And Europe is one of them. I've never been attracted to Europe ever. Yeah, this is yeah, if you're looking at the whenever you see mountains, that's seismic activity. And with me living in Silicon Valley, there's little earthquakes all the time. There are earthquakes all the time when you're in a seismic area, right? I think there was an earthquake last week in Silicon Valley. An earthquake last week, and then I felt the other one a few weeks back. I'm just like, oh, so I'm in earthquake country. And she said I ate that up. I ate up that illusion in Paris. My tour guide was like, listen, I'm glad you had fun. But yeah, I've never been attracted to Europe. Never. Never been attracted. to Europe. I went to Paris while I was stationed in Germany. The food was so good, but the people were rude for no reason. Yeah, I've just never been. Yeah, I mean, like they're little joints, because if it's not the earthquakes, then there's always something burning out here. Wildfires in California and people crying every year or whatever, whatever, whatever. But but yeah, the energy out here is like that. But yeah, so saying all that to say, remember that spirituality and magic is a spiritual science as well as a spiritual art. Your ingredients and what you're using, your rituals do matter. Especially if you're working with certain spirits, they only gonna want certain things. Certain spirits are only going to want certain things. And if you can't get that spirit what they're asking for, then you just might as well not even work with them. You have to know things, like intent is good. People intend to do things all the time, but yep, see, way too cold for me. Yeah, see, I don't. First of all, I don't go to no places where it's cold. Mr. Hoodoo wants to go to Alaska, and I'm just like, but it's cold. I mean, yeah, to see like whales or like salmon fishing or something like that, but you can go to Seattle for that. I don't really care for the mountains. I mean, they're nice. I appreciate them because they are wonders of nature. But when the sun starts to go down, the mountains block the sunlight, and I like the sunlight. Chicago is cold. That's why I don't live there. I don't live in Chicago anymore. I left for college and I said I ain't never going back. You couldn't pay me to go back to Chicago. Well, you could pay me to go back to Chicago, but it would have to be very, 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 very good money. Like I love my family, but it's cold and I don't deal in snow. Chicago gets cold, yes. I don't deal with that. I don't live there anymore. First of all, and Alaska has another type of energy too. It's some weird shit to be in. Yeah, at dusk because the mountains are up. I was wondering, like, what? Because like we moved to California in August, and I'm just like, well, this is still summer. Why is it dark or almost damn dark at 7 o'clock? I'm like, oh, because the sun is setting behind the mountains, and when you're in a valley, you're in a bowl, and you can't see the sun. So I don't like that. Yeah, Alaska. First of all, Alaska doesn't have enough civilization for me. I'm good. I don't care what anyone says. I may do magic and work with spirituality, but baby, I need civilization. Like I could never drive through like Nevada or like places like that because you're just driving and it's like nothing. I need civilization. I need the rest stop. I need food. I need, what if you need to get to a hospital? Then there's hospital out here 30, 40 miles away. I need civilization. Okay. People always say that. Oh, you're from Chicago. You're used to the cold. No, no. I abhor the cold. I hate the cold. Hate, hate, hate the cold. And in places like that, it's cold for so long. Like places like Atlanta, you're going to have a warm weather season for a long time. And then it gets a little cool, and I hated that too, but it wasn't forever. It doesn't really get warm in Chicago until probably about May, starting to get warm, May, June. And my birthday is in March. So birthdays were always, I hated my birthday growing up because it was always cold. No, you don't get used to it. I don't like it. I hate cold. I hate snow. Mm-mm. No, my perfect place to live would be like Tampa, Miami. Wait till I get my extra bonds up. Wait till I diversify my bonds. Like, yeah, Miami, Tampa, because I like tropical weather. I need the humidity because it's dry as hell out here in California, and my skin is extra dry and my hair is dry, and I don't like that. Oh, look at my March babies. Yeah, like we were originally going to drive from Atlanta to California, and I'm so glad that plan fell through because um I was getting a little panicky thinking about, okay, so we have to drive through Albuquerque, we have to drive through Nevada, we have to drive through this desert. It's hot outside, things happen, and it's miles and miles and miles of nothing. Like no one's coming to rescue you. So I'm actually glad that that plan fell through and we flew. And we flew to California from Atlanta. Listen, I'm cool with it though. I'm cool here. You talking about cray cray in Tampa? Listen, I'll just put on my protection magic, and it'll be just fine. I'm fine with that. Right. I need something right because I was eyeing like living in Florida. Like, okay, so the fruit trees, so mango trees and almond trees and bananas and oranges and all these little tropical fruits that I enjoy and love, right? Oranges, and the land gives and it's moist, and I love the moisture. I love the warmth and the humidity, and then like the sea salt when you live in close to the water, and then the water is warm so you can just like pull over and like just go snorkeling in the clear water. Like that's who I am as a person. I don't mind the humidity because it's good moisture. My skin is so dry out here. And in order to not look like a 78-year-old handbag, next year, I've actually noticed that since I've been here, I've been drinking much more water than I normally do. So now I'm just like on a daily basis, now I'm just like between 70 and 80 ounces of water just on a daily basis because I'm drinking so much more water because I don't want my skin to be dry. Lathering up and extra lotion and extra oil because it's so dry here. Tampa is beautiful. Listen, I was enjoying just people just, they just drive to the side of the pier and they just put their fishing pole in and then they're fishing. And then, I like to swim in warm water. So, yeah, I miss Tampa. They had some bomb Cuban food. Hey, Liberated Soul. Right, right. Yeah, I don't want to look like a vintage handbag. And I'm just like, and I forgot my satin pillowcase for this hotel pillow. So I just got to put extra lotion on my face this morning because that cotton will dry your skin out. I forgot my satin pillowcase. I looked at it yesterday too, and then I forgot it. But anyway, yeah. Now don't get me wrong. I don't deal with the gardening and then the weird, super weird southern bugs. The huge like water bug roaches and stuff like that. The big ones like the tree roaches and stuff. Like I hated those. And then but I need moisture. So everybody out here talking about they want to go skiing for vacation. I do not want to go skiing for vacation. It's cold and there's snow. I need my tropical place. So I'm currently talking Mr. Hoodoo into going to like Cabo. Like when are we going to Cabo since we live on this side now? Can we go to Cabo, please, in Hawaii because we're over here now? What you talking about? Speaking your language? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is my language for real. Spirit, that's how I know I was meant to do this in this world. It just literally is my language. It literally is my interest. It's my, you know, it's lit over here. But yeah, the spirit of illusion, the spirit of chaos, and when you have the spirit of illusion, it's not always the spirit of deceit, but it can easily move into that, right? So when you're talking about these places energetically, it's advertising one thing and giving you something else. So yeah, I'm not sure if I really want to. I kind of feel like being out here, I feel like being out here in LA, like I'm going to be spiritually seen, if that makes sense. Because there are places where you can hide as a spiritual worker without anyone picking up on who you are and what you do. Because spiritual people recognize other spiritual people when you're out and about. And I don't wear, I don't wear pentagrams and pentacles, or I don't wear talismans out and stuff like that. I literally just put on my clothes, my cute clothes and my cute purse and, makeup, and I'm out here cute. Everybody out here in leggings, I'm out here in a cute dress. So I'm, you know, but I don't wear things to advertise that I'm a spiritual worker, but I kind of feel like I'll be spiritually seen out here in LA, like walking around. Like the idea of it, I was thinking about it earlier, and I was just like, the idea of it kind of made me uncomfortable walking around out here. Yeah, I feel like I'll be seen out here. Because like I said, we can recognize each other. There's an energy. We can recognize each other. We can recognize each other, but yeah, I just feel like I'll be seen out here. I'll be seen out here, and it hasn't made me uncomfortable, but it did make me stop and think. Like, Mr. Hoodoo was just like, oh, where do you want to go? He was just like, yeah, feel free to, get out and explore today. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to be seen out here because I just feel like I'll be spiritually seen out here, and I don't like that. Like in Silicon Valley, you got the Tesla mafia out in Silicon Valley. Every other car is a Tesla, and the energy of Silicon Valley is so much more. It's different. It's low key. It minds its business. That's one thing. But out here is just down here in LA is you live in LA. It's very interesting here. Be safe and aware. Yeah, I am. Like I've been since I woke up this morning. I've been like, okay, think about things before you decide on where you want to go today. Because I mean, we'll probably do some exploring when Mr. Hoodoo gets back later on today. We'll probably do some exploring, but I just feel like I'll be seen here. No, it's hard out here for spiritual people. Yeah, a lot of times people just want to take from us. Take, 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 take. Hey, Flora. And yes, hey, Candy Me. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard out here for us. It's hard out here for us, especially because everybody think we're some damn version of Charmed. No, no, I have a normal life too. Yeah, like I have a normal life, just like I have my 400 and something subs on here because everyone thinks that because I'm this spiritual person and I'm out here, I gotta be demonstrating something. I gotta be doing readings all the time. No, I have a life. I have an actual life. And again, I'm not out here trying to energy hustle y'all. Both versions. Alma S. Both versions of Charm because in every version of Charm, they just out here. Charm. Like I hated that they rebooted Charmed. I hated that when they brought out Sabrina the Teenage Witch, on Netflix because I'm just like these people out here just really finna be out here, you know, out here doing shit. Out here doing shit. But both she's talking about the original or both of them. Both of them. Both of them. I was just like, oh Lord, because what was now I watched it because I just want to see was it gonna be trash or not. I watched it. I watched almost every spiritual show that's out here. But, I'm like, damn, they got homegirl out here being, she trying to join a sorority and she witchy and shit, and then she's still out here, living her best whole life. And I'm just like, okay. At least I could appreciate that Macy was in STEM. I was like, one time for the STEM ladies, the STEM career ladies, one time, because we don't get enough love. She said, always the OG charm. Always the OG charm. Yeah, Piper was my favorite. Hey, Essence, girl to kids. Hey, Elite Bell Zoe. Yeah, that's Sabrina. The Sabrina sucked because I was like, here they go again with this whole dichotomy of, the spiritual world. And it's not really like that. But then what was pissing me off about Sabrina was you can tell that some of these people, they were researching ATRs and then mixing ATRs with actual ceremonial magic and witchcraft. Because I'm looking at this, so I know the magic that I'm looking at. A lot of it was real names, real things, talked about in Sabrina. But you see what I'm saying? Like they keep shit in this. We're just out here doing things. We're just out here, A lot of the names were real in Sabrina. I'm listening to like these herb names. I'm listening to like the uses of certain things, and I'm just like, I'm sorry. Some of the clear people ain't never did some of this type of work. Whoever was writing Sabrina been watching all y'all sharing hoodoo on the internet, and they were taking some of it and putting it in Sabrina when hoodoo is not for clear folks. I'm sorry, it's just not for clear folks. It's not. So that was another thing about Sabrina that was pissing me off. But yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like people like it be shows out here like this, like Sabrina and like notice like we remember the old Sabrina with the chick from the 90s, right? But the old Sabrina with like her aunties or whatever, and the cat that was always throwing shades was not this new Sabrina. This new Sabrina, and when we talk about things like when we're saying quote unquote the word agenda, and I'm looking at this because when I'm looking at the newer charm, with the youngest sister, she was what maybe like 20 or whatever, and then like with the Sabrina, like in high school, and then even with like the newest charm, you can tell that's why I keep telling people hoodoo is not for clear folks. Stop put. I wish hoodoo practitioners would stop putting stuff out here on the internet because it's not for clear folks. It's not for 6Fs. Um, because they just be taking it and just mixing it with stuff, and I'm just like, no. This is why I don't teach hoodoo. I don't teach it. I love y'all, but I don't teach it. The other stuff I'll teach, I don't teach hoodoo because they are just mixing shit up, and I'm just like, now, anyway. But yeah, I like Prudence. She was a badass. That's my homegirl. Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, listen. Hmm. Yes, yeah. Like certain stuff just ain't for people, and that's okay. For certain people, that's okay. Y'all don't see me out here trying to be all up in Chinese magic. It's not for me. Chinese magic and what they do, and that's not leave them people stuff alone. I'm not out here trying to learn Hawaiian, or I'm not out here trying to learn stuff from the Aboriginals of Australia. That's for them people. Leave them people stuff alone. Western society stuff, yes, because I'm Western, but leave them other people stuff alone. Leave them people stuff alone. Hey, Renaissance woman. Hey, Sarah. That's my Sarah right there. But yeah, leave people stuff alone. Everything ain't for us, and that's okay. But stuff that's for us should just be for us. Okay? Okay? Okay. Yeah, I remember Tangana. I was just quiet. I was quiet. I don't say nothing. I just let people just listen. Sometimes the best thing you can do is be quiet. I just let people be quiet. And I just let people be quiet and do what they do because certain things ain't for me. Let me see. Uh, yeah, they're out here teaching it, and then they're teaching stuff wrong. But I just listen. I know what my ancestors told me no. My ancestors told me no, don't share, don't teach, and I said okay. Message assimilated. They told me no, so I don't. No, my ancestors told me nope, don't share a damn thing, and I said yes, ma'am, yes, sir. But the other stuff I'll teach. Yeah, they be trying. I just be like, okay, okay. Like I said, I don't teach, I don't share, I don't. I just look, and I say, okay. There's certain things that are out there or whatever, but I ain't write no book. I'm not. Mm mm mm. Be safe out there, Tanjon. Be safe out there driving. This right here. That's girl. That's what they say. They be trying to make you feel bad about not sharing. I just be like, tuh. Where hanging around with the islanders. Okay, okay, sure. I'm not. No, I'm not sharing. I'm not sharing. I don't even advertise it. I just say magic and spirituality. But yeah, y'all. My original points turned into a completely different conversation, which is fine. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about again for the third time. Your recipes, your spells, your ingredients do matter when you're doing things because if you want to make quote unquote chicken noodle soup, you need chicken and you need noodles. If you use beef, it's no longer chicken noodle soup, it's now beef noodle soup. That same logic applies to when you're doing your workings, especially when you're working with spirits, because some spirits only are going to accept payments and offerings of a certain kind. Things that are part of their essence, are aligned with their essence. So keep listening to these people out here to say, oh, just use this, oh, just substitute that. And then when you're out here making beer or whatever, instead of doing a magic spell, and then you wonder why it went wrong, that's your fault. Stop listening to that. It's just intent only. It's more than intent. Energies have to work together. You have to have the right correspondences and everything for things to work together. Now, if you just want to make a fruit salad, you can use any type of fruit. If you want, you things have to align. Everything has to align with what you're doing. It has to align. It has to align your ingredients. Everything has to align. This is why we call them correspondences. Your correspondences have to align. Okay. Just like I hear people out here talking about, and you have to know what you're doing. People out here talking about, well, I want to curse someone and I'm going to pee in it. Well, I'm going to put my hair in the cursing word. Well, you about to curse yourself. Why are you poisoning yourself? That's just like saying you want to poison someone, but you take some too. You know, find whoever it is that you want to learn from. It don't have to be me, but make sure you check their credentials. Make sure you learn from someone that has produced. It don't have to be me, but make sure you learn it right and not from people out here that's just doing a social media thing. We sure do. Yeah, ask your ancestors. Liberated soul rebel, because certain you may, you just may be built for certain things, right? You may be built for certain things, and that's okay. Yeah, honey, I've seen a bunch of people say, like, and not understanding the things that they're working with. So like if you're making a sweet jar, let's say for example you're making a honey jar, which is to sweeten someone towards you. It's not going to change their personality. It just make them a little bit nicer towards you. What happens when you add water to sugar? Honey is sugar. It's going to do what? Okay, okay. But they talking about they want to add water to it so that it could move faster. Honey, you're working with honey. The only way to get honey to move around faster, you have to warm it up. So sit it out in the sunlight, or gently warm it up in a double boiler on the stove. That's how you get the honey to move faster. You don't put water in honey to make it move faster. You about to fuck your shit up. And that's your fault. Go put some honey, go put some water in your honey. And then put a lid on it with a bunch of herbs and stuff in there. You about to have stuff growing in there. You about to have stuff fermenting. All right. If anybody needs some help out here, Tanjon say that tell the family that Section 8 for San Francisco is taking applications immediately. All right. So if you got somebody or your people out in San Francisco and they need somewhere to go, Tanjon got the information right here. But yeah, they out here putting water in their honey jars so it can move faster. Okay. When you get some growth, when you get some mold, and then when your relationship with that person starts to change and deteriorate, this is why. Yes. Yes. This is exactly it. Yep. Shh, let me take that down. Girl, essence of all saying we ain't telling people that. We're not gonna tell people the good secrets. Yep. Salt will do what you tell it to. Yep, it dissolves and then it ferments. Like I said, people be out here making beer. Then when the lid get bubbly and the lid pop off, all your magic is gone. Disaster in a jar, baby. Yes. Yes. They out here making beer and then, oh my God, they was nice to me before and now they not, but my honey jar got bubbles in it. But what did you put into it? Well, I put the herbs in it. I put some water in it. And okay, bam. This is why. This is why. Yeah, I wanted to make the spell stronger. No, you don't make it stronger. Just let it do what it's gonna do. Girl, yeah, yeah. Now we all know when stuff start fermenting and it start bubbling, sometimes them lids will pop off. Them lids will pop off, and now your magic then escaped, and this person now being mean to you because you just doused them in beer. You doused them in some beer. Child, yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm just like, his intent is one thing, but having the right correspondences and knowing what you're doing is something else, and it's very important to your work. Don't put stuff that don't need to be in there. Talking about I want to. No. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. No. Like you have to know what you're doing. I understand that urine is a domination, right? We all see what animals do when they're urinating. The dogs when they're marking their spot and stuff like that. There is dominance with that. But you ain't dominating nothing if you putting your urine in some damn In the curse jar with Tim. You finna curse yourself, child. Exactly. This is it too. Oh, listen, I love pasta too. I can't really eat it. Everybody's shout out Auntie Sugar. Early birthday for her. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Auntie Sugar, baby. Her birthday tomorrow. We're gonna give her some love today. But yeah, they wondering why their life is a mess. Mm. Okay, so she said, what does urine do to somebody? I mean, you're so when we're looking at the animal kingdom, right? Especially when it comes to like you see dogs do it. One dog come pee, right? And then another dog will come and pee in the same spot that the first dog did, right? They're trying to mark their territory. They're trying to establish dominance, right? This is what we see from the animal kingdom, right? They're trying to establish dominance. You can use urine for dominating work, but you have to be very, very careful with it. And you have to understand the person that you're trying to dominate because someone who weak, yeah, you could dominate them. A dominant person trying to dominate another dominant person, you're going to have a battle on your hands. You're going to have a battle on your hands, just like in the animal kingdom when we see like one male buffalo or deer or lion or whatever trying to alligator and they're trying to fight the other one, the two dominant ones, is going to be a fight. If you trying to dominate someone who's naturally dominant, who naturally doesn't bow down, it's probably not going to work. You need to pursue your goal via a different avenue. You have to work on them in a different way. This is why I tell people you need to, if you're going to work on a person, you need to know your person because everyone has a different personality. Everyone responds to different things, to different stimuli. Trying to force someone who is dominant isn't going to work. Your spell ain't going to work. You're just going to make them mad. You're going to make them angry, right? And they're going to be pushing back energetically. Excellent. Oh, snap. Yeah, Isis's birthday. Yeah. This is why I'm saying, like, people be out here telling people things. You have to, if you're going to work on people, you have to know the type of person you're dealing with, right? Because someone who is dominant, you're not just going to take over and dominate them. You're not going to do it. Someone who's meek or weak or real nice or someone who's easily influenced, yeah. Someone who is dominant, that's not going to work. No, they just nasty. They're just nasty. And I need to talk about that via my other channel, Q's Room. Yeah, I need to talk about that because people out here eating the groceries and doing all types of stuff with waste products that you're not supposed to be doing. Yes, this is about knowing. You have to know your strength as a person, as a spiritual worker. You got to know what works for you. You have when working. That's why I laugh at people that try to work on other people and you don't know this person. You need to know the person. It's no different than when the three-letter agencies, when the three-letter agencies are doing psychological profiles on like their new recruits and stuff like that. Why do you think they're doing that? They're doing the psychological profiles on their new recruits to know their strengths, weaknesses, where they can prod them. You know, are they, will they have a propensity to lie? Are they going to be dominant? This is why. So if you're trying to work on a person spiritually, you need to know them and their psychological profile. So you do just like the three-letter agencies do. Then you'll know how to work on a person. Yeah, some people may seem meek, but may actually not be. This is why you need to know someone. You need to know. Why do you think people, like when these agencies send people in undercover, they're not undercover for 2 weeks. They're undercover for 6 months, a year, things like that, so they can fully know the person that they're dealing with. Fully know the person that they're dealing with. You have to know the person you're dealing with. What motivates them? What doesn't motivate them? What's important to them? What do they value? How do their mind work? How do they do things? Are they methodical? You have to know the person before you can work on them. You have to know what words to use and how to say things. You know, you have to know. So just walking up to somebody, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. And when you're working on people, it may take a while to do things. It may take a while because people are people. A lot of times we change and we grow, but some people don't. Your core personality is going to still be there. Yeah, so like you have to understand. And this is why, a lot of times people want to talk about like the 3-letter agencies and things like that. But when you're working with people and you're doing magic and working with people, you have to know your psychology. You have to know psychology and how human minds work, because advertisers, various government agencies, yada, 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 they understand this about people. This is how they get people to do things. This is how they get people to do things. You have to understand people. A lot of people don't understand people. You have to understand people when you want to work on people. See it all the time. This is why people fail. When I have had to work on people, yeah, it was people I knew when I had to, and I did what I had to do. So, but anywho, the conversation always changes, which is fine because I enjoy chatting with you all. But yeah, we need to understand things, and it's not just some damn intent. People intend to do a lot of things and mess stuff up. People intend to do a lot of things and mess things up, especially for themselves and for others. So, yeah, so that's all that I wanted to say. Of course, the conversation changed and morphed like it normally does, but I'm glad we had a chance to chat. Maybe coming back this week, I think, okay, so Thursday for a little something something, which is very apropos being that I'm here in LA for the conversation. Yeah, a lot of people don't have clear intentions because they don't know themselves and they don't know what the hell they want. So they just out here doing something, and when their magic doesn't work and it doesn't manifest, they're wondering why. Because they don't have clear intentions, because they don't know themselves and they don't know what they truly want. Yeah, so probably coming back. I have to see what kind of time I have tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. Okay, so we'll do a session tomorrow. If people have questions and they want their personal questions answered, we'll do a session tomorrow. Let me check my calendar. What's happening tomorrow? Okay, yeah, we can do tomorrow's Wednesday. Okay, yeah, we can do a session tomorrow an early session. If you have your questions that want to be answered, the one question readings and stuff like that, we'll do that tomorrow. And then I'll probably be back Thursday for something at some point in time on Thursday. And then relaxing the rest of the day today. Relaxing on Friday. We were going to go to San Diego, but I don't want to be on an 8 hour car ride back to Silicon Valley. So we're not going to San Diego. I said no. So yeah. I love you all. If you all have any questions, you all know where to find me. Email me, like the video, share, subscribe, all the good fun stuff. And yeah, I guess I'll have to update you on how LA goes once we leave here. Isis says, this was good. Thank you. Supports what I saw this morning in my draw, Justice. Yeah, make sure you like the video on the way out. Yeah, like I said, we're in LA right now. We were going to go to San Diego, but I was just like, so how long driving from San Diego do we have to get back to Silicon Valley? And he was just like, add on 2 hours. So no, I don't want a 7-8 hour drive back to Silicon Valley from San Diego on Friday because I will be a cranky. Once it's over 6 hours, we said we're going to fly, but since we drove here, we won't. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. We'll probably do San Diego next time. It's always wonderful to have someone when your husband travels for work because then you go for free on the work trips with him. I love free work trips. So yeah, I love you all. Probably be back tomorrow and Thursday for something. And then next week, I have questions about things, especially as it pertains to the things that people try and cover for that are just absolutely disgusting and nasty. So on my other channel, Q's Room, right? On my other channel, probably next week, we're going to be discussing some things because y'all can do what y'all want, but some things just, I don't, the way that society, I know when people say that there's an agenda going on for just like more degeneracy and degenerate behaviors. Sometimes I really do believe that because of some of the things that I see. So yeah, we're probably going to talk about that next week on my other channel, Q's Room. But yeah, make sure you all stick around here. I love y'all. All of this stuff. Let me go kill myself doing some ballet. Yeah, we're going to be talking about this degeneracy because there's a bunch of degenerate shit going on out here, and people going to be like, oh, you shaming people. You're damn right I'm shaming people. Yes, I will say it. I will say it because people out here doing some stuff that's just disgusting and degenerate. So yeah, that'll be next week on my Q's Room channel. So I love y'all. Let me go. I need to go and work out. So, Patreon, people on Patreon. Yeah, we're gonna start getting into what I said we were. I just needed to take a little break. But yeah, we're gonna start getting into that too. And Patreon people, we're gonna have a live stream where we're gonna be discussing the information covered so far because the information is there and I want to make sure that everyone is understanding the information. And I really want you all to be using the information, right? Using the information and using what you've learned to apply it so far. So Patreon people, just know that's going to be coming up probably within the next 2 weeks. So just want to say that because many of you all are already here on this live stream. Okay. So love y'all. Yup. Love y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.